YouTube, what is going on? I'm back with another video. And so I actually was trying to figure out what kind of topic to talk about on my next video. I have, like, you know, sometimes I write down ideas and things that, you know, mean a lot to me, or things that I think that I could bring to the world, right, that I've experienced that I could help you guys out with. And so right now I was talking to my best friend. We're talking on the phone for quite a while, and you know, I've already mentioned him before. You know, he's formerly known as Make Money Mowing, but he's got a YouTube channel, he has courses, and so talking to him about him trying to adjust his business, and then me, you know, initially before I was talking to him about my business, right, about my real estate business, and just, you know, there's times where we get to this point in life, right, where sometimes we forget, you know, like at one point we were down here and now we're up here, right? So we're facing different problems, you know, different scenarios, you know, just different environment as well, right? You know, as you level up, your environment changes, the people around you change too. And so when we were talking, I was kind of thinking to myself as well that, like, sometimes we feel lost, right? We're like, what do we do? Do we even want to continue doing this? Do we even feel like this is something that we should do, you know, at this point? But at one point, you know, you wanted to do that thing. You were down here and you were like, man, I want to be right here. And so this is where you are, right? This is your new low. That's how I see it. You know, there's a scale. You go up and then down, up and then down, and then, but at one point, this was, you know, where you're at now was your up, and this is your low, right? So, or this was your formerly past low, and so now you're here, right? And you want to be here, and you're here, but you're still past where you were before. And I think what happens is we tend to overcomplicate things, right? So with this video, it's like if you're feeling lost, sometimes we might be overcomplicating things. And I do this all the damn time. I'm not trying to cuss, but I do this all the time. Like, I'm always in my mind, I'm always in my head, I'm always thinking to myself, like, man, is this something I should do? Should I do this instead? Should I be doing this? But at the same time, I should also realize, like, what's working for me, right? Like, what's already worked in the past, what's already gotten me to where I want to be, and why am I going to start changing that if it's working, right? Of course, if it's going to improve my business, you know, it's good to try new things, right? But if it's not necessarily making any, like, big difference in what you're trying to do, then why even do it in the first place? But basically, from past experience, like, there's times where I feel lost, right? Like, and I'm trying to figure out, what am I going to do? Like, why am I even, like, going through this? Why am I even feeling this? Sorry, I'm drinking caffeine, that's making me burp. But one thing that's always really helped me, and I've made a video about it in the past, really, is just staying, like, disciplined, right? And staying committed to the things that I need to get done. And so maybe now I'm kind of trying to figure out, like, what approach I want to take to life and what I want to do again, right? Not that I want to quit real estate or quit, like, lifting, right? Or completely change all these things. But when I simplify it and I look at it as, like, a day-to-day basis, I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym, you know, despite how I feel. I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym. I eat my meals throughout the day. I train boxing in the evening. I work throughout the day. As I'm doing the things that I need to do that I know will bring me success in my business, right? It's really when I sit there, and sometimes it's when I sit there when I have too much time, where I begin to think a little bit more of, like, am I going to do this instead, or should I do this instead, right? And we're, like, overcomplicating these things, and there's no reason to overcomplicate stuff, because once you start to overcomplicate things, I think that's when you begin to feel lost, right? And you have to look at it this way. If there's a person, the type of person that you're trying to be, you know, look at some of those characteristics, or look at some of those things that those people do, right? And you don't need to start at doing a million things at the same time. What you really need to do is start with one thing. And it's, so if your goal is to lose weight, your goal is to build muscle, well, don't start thinking, like, I need to go to the gym, I need to start meal prepping, I need to start counting my calories, I need to do this, I need to do that. The first thing you need to do is get up and go to the gym. You need to get up and go to the gym. You need to make it a habit. You need to start with that first step. You don't need to overcomplicate it, because you're in the beginning steps of whatever you're trying to do, and overcomplicating that situation is just going to make it harder, right? Same thing, like for me, because this is what I do, right? I start real estate. So I could be thinking to myself, I need a door knock. I need to host open houses. I need to make cold calls. I need to make social media videos. I need to constantly market myself. And yes, I can do all these things, right? Like I can. And if it's something that I want, like at the beginning when I didn't have any business, right? Like I just poured all my energy into all these things, but I was shooting in so many different directions. I couldn't get really good at one direction. And then it wasn't until I progressed in my business and I learned that like I'm really good at cold calling. And so that became my main focus, because it became like more natural to me, right? Like as I kept doing it, repetitively doing it. And so I was able to start building my business off of that, right? And of course with the gym, it just took me starting to go to the gym. I started lifting when I was 18 or 19. I probably didn't even start eating good until I was like 23, 24, right? That took like 4 or 5 years for me to realize like, hey, you need to eat better if you want to see like some significant changes, right? So now I'm 29, right? So 10 years ago, I was trying to figure this out, figure that out, figure this out, figure that out. And then especially with social media nowadays and all this stuff and all this, like, you know, you just see it's a lot of this stuff isn't even real. You can't like expect overnight success. You can't expect to like be super shredded in 1 year. I mean, genetics do play a big factor. So if somebody obviously has great genetics, then yeah, they're gonna have it. But if you're feeling lost and you are trying to accomplish these things and you are not knowing where to go, not knowing what to start, not knowing if you're happy doing what you're doing, the best thing to do is to stay focused on things that are like personal goals, because keeping grounded on your personal goals will keep you grounded on like your financial goals for the most part. So if you are trying to, like I said, lose weight, build muscle, you know, just a simple way to put it, then stick to that goal and just trust the process. Don't feel lost in it. Don't think you need to change anything. Just give it time. Give it at least 6 months. And if nothing's changed, then you need to change something, right? But at least 6 months of consistent work of going to the gym is already a good stepping stone. And at that point, now you can add like, okay, maybe I can do some slight adjustments to my food. Maybe you can cut out drinking, you know, things like that. So same thing with your business. You can, of course, as like creating a business, you can dabble into a couple things, right? But you have to look at like people who have had success in that business and think to yourself, like, what could I do that they've had success that I can focus on and become good at? All right, I had to cut it off for a second because I felt like I was rambling. I was just going on and on and on and on and on. But if you made it this far, I appreciate you for listening to me, for reals. I feel like I could definitely spit some wisdom out there for people who are, you know, trying to be where I'm at, right? I mean, everybody's different. At one point, I wanted to be self-employed. Whatever. So long story short, or still long story, but to shorten it, to end this video, if you're feeling lost, you know, stick to your personal goals, and you got to make it a lifestyle. So whatever it is, you want to go hiking more, you want to become a runner, you know, stick to these things. And it's okay to evolve, right? It's okay to change your focus sometimes. So my main focus at one point was lifting and being aesthetic. Well, now that I'm boxing, right, that has become my new main focus. And it's given me almost a new purpose, right? And that's okay. Like, why not start boxing at 20? Well, I started at 28, now I'm 29, right? But it's okay to do these things, right? And I believe it's okay to do it with your business also. But if you already have a successful business, leverage that business, keep growing it, and keep doing what's working with that business to open up a new door for you, right? Well, before I let you go, there's health, financial, and spiritual, right? And so I believe that if you take care of your physical self, you take care of your body, you eat the right foods, you're putting the right things in your system to make you feel good, right? Then it's going to help the other two grow, right? So you got your financial because you're healthy, you're taken care of, you're driven, you're focused on your goals, you're disciplined because you go to the gym, you take care of yourself, or just it doesn't even have to be the gym, just physical athleticism or any physical activity in general. And then your spiritual. So I think the spiritual will probably be the most important one, to be honest, because we have our ups and downs, we have our lows, and without that spiritual side of us, you know, what's going to get you through what you're feeling, right? If you're feeling lost. And my personal belief is that, you know, God puts us through some of these scenarios, through these feelings, for a reason, because now we're going to redirect, you know, whatever we were focused on in the beginning. We're always constantly evolving. So if you're feeling lost, focus on these 3 things, right? And the financial, like I said, just stick to what's working. And don't be afraid to try new things though. So if you want to try something different, try it. But if, as far as like your success, if you're just feeling lost and you don't know what to do, well, stick to what's working so you can continue to make money and continue to open those doors. And then physical, always take care of yourself. Spiritual, it's gonna help you get through all the ups and downs of life, and it's gonna be your rock. So till next time, guys.
Okay, Kino, I see.
Dreaming, talking in your sleep. I know you want to cry all night.